Do you have anything up in your house, the tree, or anything to celebrate the 10th anniversary? I should say it's the 10th racist anniversary of me on Fox News saying, I think Obama might be a racist.
Well, I remember the day.
Don't we all, Bill?
I was trying to tutor you back, as you remember, 10 years ago. I was at Fox, and so were you.
Yeah.
And you were on in the afternoon, and of course I was the primetime star of everything. And I was trying to take you along and give you little pointers and things like that.
Yeah. You actually, so people, wait, hang on just a second. So people know this is true with Bill. People sometimes, and it used to kill me when we were working together on TV, they would go, Bill is really not your friend. And I'm like, you don't know Bill. Bill actually was probably the most friendly to my career and the most helpful out of anyone in television.
And also a much bigger star.
Well, I was trying to help Beck, and by doing that, sometimes I had to criticize him. And that's why you had these little people who loved Beck saying, oh, he's not your friend. Well, we always did it in a very funny way, and Beck appeared on The Factor, and we had very good discussions. So then in the morning, he goes on Fox and Friends, always trouble to go on Fox and Friends. And then he says, because of the Gates incident in Cambridge, Massachusetts, that he believed that President Obama had some animus toward white people. Now, as soon as I heard it, I went, Beck. Oh, no.
I think your words may have been something like, you could have had a long career.
I had you on. I don't know whether you remember this, but I had you on The Factor shortly after that, and I scolded you in the sense that, but my take on it was different than the actual statement. I mean, I wouldn't have made the statement, but I knew that the forces of evil that wanted to destroy Beck were just given a cannon, a huge cannon.
Yep.
And that's what I was concerned about. Now, I must tell your audience that I don't believe Barack Obama is a racist, and I know him more than casually. I've spoken to him on a number of occasions, and I've observed him in settings. I don't believe that he's a racist, but I know that he and his wife harbor resentment toward the white-dominated culture in America.
So I agree with you, and I corrected this pretty quickly. It's not that he was a racist. What I was trying to understand, and I didn't understand it at the time, is his postmodernist view and his anti-colonialist view. He is an anti-colonialist, and that makes you very, hostile to much of the Western world's history.
Well, he despises Winston Churchill.
I know.
Barack Obama does. He'll never say that, but when you put the bust of Winston Churchill in the men's room, I mean, that's a signal.
Right.
That's a signal.
Right.
And not even on display, in a stall.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So anyway, but that's complicated, Beck. And what I was trying to tell you then 10 years ago, and I continue to try to tell you now, is that we don't live in an age where anyone takes the time to really investigate what is said and put it into context.
Yeah.
We live in an age where assassins on the internet will cut your throat in a second for anything.
Yeah.
Therefore, your analysis has to be, quote unquote, protective. You have to say what you mean or you're not going to have an audience. And I certainly have, and I have done that my whole career. But I learned a lesson the hard way, that I have to say it in a way that is so factual that there's not going to be any opportunity for the liars to make any. They're going to still do it, but to gain any traction.